Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 action horror film Wrong Place, Wrong Time, a film that is written and directed by Justin Price, and it stars Mike Markoff, Chase Garland, Franskia Schieser, Bianca Stein, Alex Ryan Brown and Olivia Riviera. Now, this film is basically, it follows a group of bank robbers, really. Basically, they pull off a heist that goes wrong. So they basically are betrayed, head out for somewhere to take cover and hide, because they are very, very wanted men and women. And they choose like the worst place on earth to go, basically, because where they end up is like a den that is the haven to a creature of the night. Right, that's essentially the plot here of this film. What are my thoughts on Wrong Place, Wrong Time? Well, when you describe this film, you get a bit of a Dusk Till Dawn vibe from it. Well, is this a Dusk from Dawn for a new generation, or is it something different? Well, it's something different, really. I mean, to hope that this would be up to the level of a film like From Dusk Till Dawn would be pushing it a little bit, really. I enjoyed the premise here. I thought there was quite a bit that worked here in the movie. I mean, the opening section of the movie is quite exciting. You get like a bank robbery shootout, reminiscent of the scene in Heat. Obviously not of that high standards and budget, but that's the kind of thing they're going for, that kind of vibe. So you see them doing this heist and getting away, and then you see them planning their next move, and then there's like a dip in the film, and you feel like you've missed something completely, because it's flashing a bit back and forth about a betrayal that takes place, and then they end up like at this place that they think is going to be a safe haven for them, and turns out to be anything but. So there are aspects of it that worked. I thought the initial opening worked with the gunfight and stuff like that, and then it kind of went into this lull, and then when the reveal takes place, the fact that they're at great risk at this place where they are, because they're being hunted essentially by a vampire, really, you kind of think, well, okay, that's a decent premise. I could take this. You know what I mean? It's going to be a fun, like survival horror, if you like. They've got to kind of survive the night and be creative, and see how they can get through the night and stuff like that. But you kind of really don't get that. It kind of chugs along at this weird pace, and occasionally the vampire pops up and the film elevates again. You kind of think, yeah, I'm into this again. And the stuff when he's not there, this creature, this vampire, is fairly dull stuff. And that's got a lot really to do, unfortunately, with the plot and the writing here and the characters, because the characters aren't particularly interesting. And essentially the criminals, so there's not an awful lot to like about most of them for the most part here. So you're not really rooting for them, and I always find that to be a problem. You can always turn a bad character good if you like, so you kind of end up rooting for them, but I never got that from this film, unfortunately. So I mean, again, it's one of those films where I couldn't really remember any of the characters' names and things like that. And then there was this weird setup at this location where the hold up, where there's like people there, and then again there's this cumbersome plot running through it that you just can't quite figure out what they're going for and what they're doing, and it becomes a bit confused. Where essentially the simplicity of the film is this: they did a heist, it kind of went wrong, they're hiding out somewhere with the cash that they managed to get away with, and they're being hunted by a vampire. Pretty good premise, but again, they overcomplicate it here, I think, this film. But it is still fun, of quite a few good moments, this. I thought the effects were particularly good. For any of the gore that you see, and you do see quite a lot of gore. It's actually quite wonderfully gory actually at times. I thought the effects for the vampire were actually really quite impressive. I mean, they did mainly only show it with dimmed lighting and things like that. I think if they'd have exposed the whole thing, it would have looked basically like a man in a rubber suit. But the way they lit it made it look effective, and I liked that. So some of the vampire kills and things like that, and some were good and enjoyable and entertaining. And there's one particular scene in the film that I thought stood out from the others. There's like a scene where a policewoman knocks at the door to check what's going on, and she's got like a body cam on, and then so you see it then from the body cam perspective. It comes almost like found footage, and there's a scene then that takes place like from a found footage perspective that I thought was really, really well done, and it kind of made me wish we got that film as well. So I think when it focused on its strengths, this film, which was the vampire, and some of the effective shots that they decided to go with, it really, really stood out, this film. I thought the action was okay. I thought the effects and the vampire idea and stuff was okay, and some of the choices they chose in regards to how they shot the film were okay. I think some of the performances were a bit lackluster in the film, but all the main characters kind of were okay as well. Some of the characters did feel a little bit cliched, but other than a bit of, you know, writing and plot designing that felt a little bit cumbersome, it is a pretty reasonably entertaining film that does borrow heavily from other things that have come before, other premises like Dusk Till Dawn and things like that, and Heat and on other films. It is a pretty decent for a low budget film, this, and I was impressed with aspects of it. I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. It is certainly watchable, definitely could have been better, but there are certainly aspects here that you will enjoy if you're fans of vampire films. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you like this review. Thank you very much for watching. Of course, I will be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.